let's before we get into it, Ethan, I want Otis to react. 'Cause one, I don't know how far into Welcome to Derry Otis is, or if he just dropped the show as a whole. Are you caught up at all, Otis? Have you seen this episode at least that she's alluding to?
Yeah, when they're in the sewers and he comes face to face with Pennywise and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, yeah, I think it's clearly a plot hole. If he's actually afraid, but I don't know if the like illusions you see when you're near Pennywise or when he's coming for you it directly means that you're afraid. It just means that he's trying to find a way to get in your head, essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he is actually afraid, then I don't understand what the point of even mentioning that he has this, missing fear gland or whatever you want to call it. I mean,
So there were two things that, because me and Ethan kind of had like a little dialogue about it back and forth in our chat. First and foremost, the thing I wanted to bring up was the idea, to your point, Pennywise, fear isn't a prerequisite for you to see an illusion that created by him. He uses and wants to create fear because it makes his food taste better, makes people taste better to him, but it's not something he needs in order to do so. And from the way that I perceive it, because I think this is just a matter of like perception of this particular scene and interaction, he's not afraid of Pennywise. He's more so confused because he's on a military operation and he sees his fucking wife in the sewer during the military operation. So he's like, taken aback, like, why the fuck are you here? And then on top of that, he almost shot her because he raised the gun up to immediately shoot at her, damn near, which kind of led to him almost shooting his son, like, right after the fact. So I think it's more so surprise because his lack of fear does not mean his lack of emotion, period. So he's not a Terminator. He can still like be in awe and be surprised and sadness and all that good stuff. Because the following episode, we see him act out of emotion, out of anger and surprise and smack his son. And then his son made it very apparent to say the lines, he's in your head right now, in regards to making him act out of character. So again, I can understand if you thought that he was feeling fear in that moment and how that could be a plot hole, if that is the case. I don't think it's the case, but if it is the case, then it's a plot hole. And I also wanted to bring up an idea that we brought up to Ethan in regards to, and it's something we're going to get into now, the idea of like having a setup and a payoff, but when that payoff happens, or even when you set things up. Because I think me and him, I had the argument that, yes, they set that up as a thing early in the episode, but there's no like timer or when you have to pay something off. If you pay it off at the very end of the movie or you pay it off 5 minutes after you set it up, I think it's fine as long as you pay that thing off before the movie concludes and the story's over with. But Ethan, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I see. I mean, obviously, Otis, I see what he's saying as far as like, it could be a massive plot hole if it is in fact, so part of what it is too, I believe, it's either Shannon Johnson or somebody else talks about the idea of the rules of the world. And this is something that Charlie likes a lot. Charlie talks about rules, and he's obviously just released his first book. We get to it later on, but as far as how important building your world is and how important it is to stay on top of the rules you've established. This rule what they've established essentially is very much that because this flyman has damaged his amygdala, he doesn't feel fear. And they made it very important that he's brought in essentially as their secret weapon, their ace up, their kind of their ace in the hole, because he doesn't feel fear. And because his superior officer is aware of this, they see him as a way to battle Pennywise. They set it up as a prize fight. This guy versus Pennywise, because he can go up against him without feeling fear. The man with no fear, right? So when he goes down in the sewers and he's getting played like a chump, it's like, what? It is a little off. However, you are correct, Dev. One, it does seem much more like Pennywise was kind of testing the bounds and trying to see what's going on and confusing him. He was more confused than anything else when he was down there. Yeah, he was. It did seem he was afraid also, but it was like, but in the end, he was more confused than anything else. He was getting in his head, and we saw even beforehand, before we went down to the sewers, he was pretty much afraid for his son when he saw his son get dunked down into the water in the previous episode. And he had marks on his arms. He was afraid for his son. That was fear. I don't care what you say. That was fear. So he's not without fear. There is fear in that man. But to your point, Charlie, there's the actual payoff. The payoff may not be him actually having to beat him now in their first confrontation. The payoff could come later on. And I actually do like the idea that this guy who does seem invincible, he has no fear, can be broken. And essentially giving him an arc to have to overcome that in a different way. it can still redeem itself. I'm not like saying, oh, it's beyond all repair. But I thought it was very interesting that they did set up the idea that he was without fear, and it very much seemed like he was getting played, especially in comparison, like she said, to his friend who was there and didn't see anything.
Now, I will say too, could be a situation I'll like kind of allude to a movie like a Kung Fu Panda, right? Where from the beginning of the film, they say, hey, you are the Dragon Warrior. The setup is that you are going to be this legendary warrior that is going to inhabit all these abilities, and you're going to take down any threat to the Valley of Peace. And in that movie, it's Tai Lung, right? And at the end of the film, we find out the payoff is, yes, he is indeed that Dragon Warrior, but the scroll he gets isn't going to give him this all-powerful ability. He's the Dragon Warrior because he sees that within himself. Now, I don't think it's going to be like the power of friendship thing, but in this, it could be like, I guess my hypothesis could be, instead of he actually having a damaged amygdala and he not having any fear, it could be something as simple as he actually has the shine, and that's what causes him to seem like he has no fear in the moment. And I only point to that because in all the scenes where we've gotten a lot of extensive explanation of what the shine is from Dick Halloran, the person directly asking him about how that works is his character. Now, is that what it is? I don't know. Would that be bad writing? I think it's subjective. I don't know. But that could be how things play out in regards to subverting your expectations. So you're looking at things being this one way and they're able to kind of write this twist in there for you. That's where it could go, is one of my hypotheticals personally.
This is something to say. His mustache fully twitched.
I mean, I just think he's gonna die. Like I'm almost certain that he's gonna end up like sacrificing himself, like to save the kids at some point.
Yeah, he probably will. I mean, let's be honest. There's no reality in which all these black folks make out this show in one piece. But one thing about Leroy is, as far as what you're saying though, Charlie, especially with Kung Fu Panda, for example, that example of Kung Fu Panda, it was built up the idea that they constantly plant the seed in that movie that he's like, I have no idea what I am. What makes me so special? What makes me so special? And they keep on saying you're only special, especially if you believe you're special. And then the very end, it shows the scroll saying there's nothing here. It's all what you believe. If you think you can do it, great. If you can't do it, great. Also, with this, they specifically go out of their way in the beginning to show him literally having no fear when the guys play that weird abusive prank where they go into his room asking him all kinds of questions with masks on, and he's able to show that he has no fear in the face of danger. That big test. So if this show is going to out of their way to show you he has no fear, I mean, it does seem weird. Yes, it could be him using the shining or the shine, essentially. That could be it instead. There's no rule. The shine is like the force. Every time you see it, it's different.
Right.
All kinds of... it's a greatest...
Gives you different abilities. From...
all time. Yeah. But it could be that. It could actually be that instead. It's because something different. But I do want to see it used in some way or acknowledged in some way. I think both of you guys know what hanging a lantern on it means? That expression in a film or TV writing?
No, I don't.
So it's just hanging a lantern on something is just when you acknowledge how bizarre it is that it actually works. Like say, I think in the movie, like for example, Independence Day, the idea that in the 90s a bizarre computer virus could somehow affect these aliens that flew light years over there. Your technology works on them, and they hang a lantern on it by having Jeff Goldblum say something like, "It's so archaic they have no defense for it." That's how you hang a lantern.
Right.
You acknowledge it with the script. If they acknowledge it in some way, where you say his name is Leroy. If Leroy is like, "Oh my gosh, all this time I thought my brain was damaged, and it turns out I have the shine." If they say something like that to acknowledge what's going on, it's like, okay, fine, you win.
Because we've already kind of acknowledged through Dick Halloran that Pennywise, well, even before him with the original Losers Club that we've seen, we know that Pennywise is susceptible to the shine. Because we know that, oh my God, I'm blanking on the redhead ginger girl's name from the Losers Club. Bev, we know that she has the shine. It's confirmed in the books that she has the shine. And that's part of why Pennywise is so obsessed with her in particular, because kids with the shine are a lot more delicious to him. And not even just him. If you watch Dr. Sleep, we know that people that have the shine are even more delicious to the group of people that were eating souls. And I can't remember the name of that group in particular. Again, I don't know. I feel like something like that's going to happen because it seems like they're going to try to expand this out into the rest of the Stephen King universe, because we're getting the Mike Flanagan Carrie movie not too long from now, and other projects that they've confirmed are going to come out. So I see that happening. We'll see.
I don't know. I will say this too. I'm going to give this show the benefit of the doubt. It'd be wildly season 8 Game of Thrones irresponsible for them to set up this dude Leroy as having a damaged amygdala and no fear, and for them to just completely dismiss it or forget all about it. And
Right.
that's wildly careless. No, they wouldn't do that. They'll do something with it. It may not be what we expected, but it'll be something with it.
Tell that to Daenerys.
I mean, that's
With Shitty, so like they haven't done anything to that degree. I damn near feel like that season 8 of Game of Thrones is such a marker of what not to do for most like screenwriters, where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna make that mistake.
I know that cost.
And
That's
then we watched season 2 of House of Dragon.
I don't think that's the same level of mistake. Let's not get to that point. It's not that same level of like let down. That's more so expectations and my bad.
Do you think season 2 of House of Dragon or season 8 of Game of Thrones? Which one is worse? Do you think?
Season 8 of Game of Thrones. That's like generationally like bad in how that went. I think season 2 of House of Dragon is more so just like a disappointment for people that were expecting all out war because of the way they like set things up at the end of the first season, more so than the finale of your thing that you've written up to for all these years. You just make all your characters act out of what you had them do before. They're just acting completely different from who they are.
Yeah, season 2 is more so like the equivalent of season 7, where it was bad, but we know it can get worse still. We'll see how season 3
I don't even think it was bad personally, but we did review that season.
We definitely talked about how bad it was.
Yeah, you weren't a fan of it. You weren't a fan of it, Charlie. You weren't a fan.
I'm going back and look at that videos. I don't think I hated it. I'm gonna go back.
You weren't a none of us were, that was no point. None of us were fans.
Like, we talked about it collectively, saying that, like, we like nothing happened. Like, it was like a filler season where like they set our expectations to here, and they gave us like.
Right.
Yeah. that's again. That's the story. You can watch that. That's the story of another time. But it was like, why is everyone getting dumb now? Why is she staying around? But yeah.
Speaking of expectations,
yes,
I want to transition into something that means a lot to all of us, in particular.
Before we go.
Mm-hmm.
You taking the first 6 episodes of Welcome to Derry, or you taking the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things? Season 5.
Oh, that's a good question. Well done, sir. You have a good head of hair.
For me, I say Stranger Things more so because I love the aesthetics so much, and I'm a little bit more connected to these characters. Well, not even a little bit. I'm really a lot more connected to these characters. So a lot of my reasons are personal.
It's over a decade worth of almost a decade worth of, yeah.
I like Welcome to Derry. I've enjoyed it a lot. Especially like this, the Vecna season was like one of my favorite things ever. I love that fucking season of Stranger Things and how they just doubled down into the horror aesthetics, and you gave this Freddy Krueger like Deadite type of thing. I fuck with it heavy. I fuck with that.
But you have to love the idea. It's gotten full Ouroboros as far as it snaking its tail, because obviously Stephen King very much influenced the Duffer Brothers. And then the Duffer Brothers show, Stranger Things, very much influenced Welcome to Derry. So it's like comparing those two is bizarre.
They have a lot of inspirations for that season.
Yeah, clearly. And it's but I would and people obviously comparing now Welcome to Derry to Stranger Things is bizarre. But I would say, man, it's funny. I don't know. Overall, I don't, is it a fair fight, Otis? Is it a fair fight to compare 4? Because the thing is, it's not just 4 episodes of season 5. It's the build up to those 4 episodes. It's almost like it's almost like comparing Stranger Things as a whole to it and Welcome to Derry as a whole. That's probably an easier match or a more fair.
It's like having like Damian Lillard go against Steph Curry, right? Dame's cool. Dame, all right. We like Dame. Dame does his thing. But we know that Steph we know who Steph Curry is. I feel like in this final season of Stranger Things, they're putting exponentially more money into it for not just the show itself, but for promotion, damn near everything around the show. Like their rollout for this season, they're making sure they're trying to get their money worth. Like, how much did they spend? I think they spent like a crazy amount of money on like the last episode, right?
Well, because but per episode is like, it's a lot of money.
It's like the equivalent of a full-on feature film. I don't think they spent anywhere near that amount of money for this first season of Welcome to Derry.
Yeah, it's a harder thing than but just to answer Otis's question, as far as which we've enjoyed watching more in the present. Did we enjoy watching those 4 episodes or watching these 6 episodes more? That is a bizarre.
It ain't hard for me.
I would say
It's not hard for me either, personally, but I actually will take Welcome to Derry, the first 6 out of over these first 4 from Stranger Things.
Wow.
I honestly thought that literally nothing happened. Like, it was so lukewarm of a starter that I was like, did I just waste my time? Like, I feel like the only meaningful reveal that was Max. Like, outside of that, I didn't give a fuck anything that happened.
I think I agree. I mean, I think that some stuff did happen. It was cool. It would have been nice if they, spoiler alert for Stranger Things season 5, if the parents had gotten clapped. But it was still enjoyable enough. I did enjoy watching the first 6 episodes of Welcome to Derry a bit more, only because it was, especially the last episode, spoiler alert for the most recent episode of Welcome to Derry, Madeline Stowe. When I first saw Madeline Stowe in episode 3 or something, I was like, Madeline Stowe? And I know younger people like you guys have no idea who she is. In the 90s, she was everything. She was a really, 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 really big star. She's in 12 Monkeys, Last of the Mohicans, really big projects and whatnot. And so when I saw her, I was like, why is this woman in this show, in this small role? Oh, because she's not a small role. Oh, because she's really not a small role. The last episode where it showed her backstory and everything, I was like, God damn, this is full blown like Ted Bundy upset. It was okay.
Man, fuck that. Stranger Things got Sarah Connor, nigga. We got Sarah Connor. What the fuck you talking about?
Sarah Connor.
We got Sarah Connor, nigga.
I do love Sarah Connor, but that's what I was saying though. Linda Hamilton didn't really do much. We didn't know who she was, where she came from.
Most of her shit was like the previous season, so I'll give you that. She most of her impact previous seasons to this.
So it's kind of like yeah. So but again, they're
sure.
both enjoyable. I enjoyed both of them. I did enjoy both of them, but I do think I had more. Also with Welcome to Derry, that first episode, the moment as far as they're like, by the way, these are the main characters. These guys get clapped very hard. Oh, by the way, next episode, what would it be like to actually have your worst fear be the idea of you killing your mom in the womb? Let's bring that to life. Like some of these things are like, yo, a lot more than.
As sad as it is, we know that we know the kids from Stranger Things are clapping Pennywise. Pennywise don't want that smoke. He doesn't want that smoke. He don't want them problems. He don't want them problems with them kids. Them kids are consistently going against their worst fears like every season, and just like without hesitation at a certain point where they're just like, you know what, we're scared of you, but fuck you, we're not scared of you anymore. Shotgun. Them Demogorgons that we were scared of in the first season, we are hunting avidly now and trying to track and follow into the abyss. Literally, he don't want them problems. But the little sister, the first, like, he don't want to deal with her alone. She is like
what's her name? Yeah.
She is roasting that nigga into oblivion. We already seen him get roasted into a puddle. She is roasting that nigga into ash.
But so that's one thing too. I know we got to move on. But we have to acknowledge the exact diametrically opposed view, ethics, or ethos of these shows. In Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers themselves have said numerous times they do not want to kill any of their main cast. And then you go over to Welcome to Derry, and they clap them off like nothing, like wee.
They say that now. I'm pretty convinced somebody's dying before the end of the season. They say that now to like dull expectations. I think when they kill somebody, it's going to be a big surprise. Somebody's dying. Somebody's dying.
My money's on Will. I don't think Will's going to make it.
Me either. I think it's either going to be Will. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I know for sure David Harbour's character is gone. Like that nigga's tried to self-delete multiple times. He's gone for sure. Yeah, he's out of here.
Not making it. He's definitely not making it.
If they're smart, they kill off Kate. Not Kate. I said Kate. I'm looking at Kate Bush, the redhead girl. I'm blanking on her name again. Max. If they're smart, they kill her off. Because I think a lot of people have like the expectation that she'll find her way back and things will be happy. No, when she gets back, give her the invincible treatment. Put a hand through her chest, rip her head off, do something crazy.
It's the same problem they had with we've gone on for so long, but whatever. You can remember Walking Dead? How Walking Dead, the kiss of death for that show.
I don't.
It was essentially when Glenn they faked out his death, and then he came back, and then literally 2 episodes later he actually did get capped for real, and the viewership plummeted by millions because of that. It was so if you keep on faking out the death of somebody like Max and bring her back and then kill her off again, it's like, what are you doing? They already did it with David Harbour. They faked out his death.
She wasn't dead though. She was just in a coma.
But no, what I mean is she actually essentially did die, and then 11 brought her back to life using sci-fi, science, whatever, magic, whatever it might be.
That's
So I
every
mean,
character. At that
if
point,
you
it's
are
damn near
if
every
you are
character, though.
if you're
Go ahead,
fake
my
killing
bad.
characters and then bringing them back over and over again, it gets kind of wonky.
Cough,
Hey.
DBZ.
To your point, they did it with David Harbour a couple times. The niggas are still writing for this season hard as fuck.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I just said David Harbour.
And they're
Yeah.
still trying to kill him off.